Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing the transparency update with a portfolio as always. So that includes breaking down the gains and losses for today, and then more specifically later on, after we get through that, we'll be discussing Apple stock a little bit more in depth as well. This has been one of the better performers out of my portfolio lately. Definitely the best performer over the past week. This stock has actually skyrocketed recently. So I'm really interested in talking about that one for a bit. But starting off, we have to address what the portfolio is looking like for today. And as you can see, we are currently at $110,963.78 for the portfolio. And for today so far, just for the normal market hours, we are at minus 0.06% or minus $69.43. And then for the after hours, it's kind of crazy because we actually saw a bigger movement in the after hours than we saw in the normal market hours. Now, we saw a lot of volatility in the normal market hours, but in terms of a percentage movement at the end of the day, so far the after hours is actually having a more significant movement at minus 0.14% or minus $159.79. So not really a bad day at all today. For a red day, I'll take it for sure. I mean, if you really think about it, for a red day, this is probably as good as it gets in like the really low percentage. This is like minus 0.20% for a red day. So it can get much worse like that on days where your portfolio isn't growing. I mean, I've seen minus 5%. I've even seen like minus 6-7% for my portfolio at one point. And a lot of you are probably familiar with that if you were investing back before this crash. On February 19th, we had a little bit of a downturn after that, and then it really started going downhill. There were some days where I clearly remember like a minus 5% day. So at least today, not a bad red day. If we're going to have one, at least I'd prefer something like this compared to, like I said, minus 5%. But more typically on a red day, you'll get like minus 1% or a little bit less than that. Or sometimes we had those days where it's like minus 1.5, minus 1.7. So this is a much better day in terms of those possibilities. And like I say, as always, whether it's a small loss red day or a huge loss red day, regardless, red days equal opportunity. That's an opportunity to buy a stock on sale compared to what it was at previously. So you have to take that positive approach to investing. That's what I like to do, and it's really helpful with your mindset, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and start off by addressing where the market began today. At 9 a.m., we started at plus 0.15%. So when you start out at a lower point like that, whether it's below or above the market, when it's only like 0.15% above or below, usually when I see something like that, I just think, oh no, here we go. It's going to be one of those days. And right off the bat, when I see those small movements, I expect either like a boring stock market day or just one of those really volatile days, which is also kind of boring as well because it just makes you want to not even look at it. But like I said, 9 a.m. plus 0.15% or plus $161.56. Then at 9:05, we actually went up a significant amount, and that was at plus 0.52% or plus $574. And then at 9:15, that's where we hit the peak of the day. Didn't go any higher than that the rest of the day. That was at plus 0.60% or plus $663.63. And then we hit 9:30 where it had a little bit of a downturn. And then after 9:30, it just absolutely dropped a ton down to 9:45 a.m. And I think this could be the lowest point of the day at minus 0.46% or minus $506.69. And then from that point on, we had a little bit of an incline upwards, but with that incline came a lot of volatility. And I'm talking about a lot. As you can see, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up even more. And then we hit this peak at 11:05 a.m. That's at plus 0.20%. So as we start getting near the midday, it drops down more significantly back down near this point over here. But this time it's a little bit higher, I believe, at minus 0.46%. Once again, we have some more volatility with the general trend being upwards all the way until this point at 2:35 p.m. And that is at plus 0.17% or plus $193.21. So there are two notable points where we break over the line into the green after the normal market hours start, and that's at 11:05 a.m. and at 2:35 a.m. And then from 2:35 on, it goes back down, bounces up again, goes back down, and actually bounces up a little bit towards those last few minutes of that last hour. So at least we got that bounce upwards towards those last few minutes of the day, but in the after hours, we have gotten a little bit of a downturn here where it just slowly declines a little bit. and now we are currently at minus 0.16%. And also, just to address one thing as well, we'll go ahead and check out Tesla stock just because this goes along with a question I'm about to mention. But I did get a recent comment in one of my most recent videos that I uploaded, and that was a question, I think it was by Monica maybe, and it was a question about why did Tesla have this drop towards the end of the day. I'm assuming they're talking about this 3:35 p.m. marker. And my response to that was basically, when it's a smaller dip like this, it's just one of those unpredictable movements. Honestly, I can't really attribute this movement to any sort of news that was released, just because if you look at what happened previously before this point, the typical trend for today was just a lot of volatility. That's just how it went today. So with the stock market comes a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes those up and downs don't really have any correlation to news that was released. It's just the human psychology that goes on and what people are actually choosing to do for that day. So it's pretty unpredictable, and that's why a lot of people say don't try to time the market. And like I said, it's just those typical ups and downs that you see with the stock market. So that's like with these general trends, it kind of goes along with, you see these downs and the up points and the down points and the up points. It's just how the stock market goes a lot of the times. And I don't think there's really any sort of news that led to this downturn. I think as we get into that last hour before 4 p.m., that's usually when you see some more dramatic movements. It either goes up a little bit or goes down a little bit, and then sometimes it just stays even or you have a lot of volatility. So it just seems like it was doing that normal thing that it does within the last hour of the day. So that's kind of my response to that. I wouldn't really say there's a huge reason why we saw this drop back downwards. It's just how it was going throughout the day, just up and downs over the line. It's just how it goes sometimes. But that's still a good question. That's a relevant question. And I love seeing questions like that because you don't learn if you don't ask questions. So thank you for that question. That gives me some content to talk about in this video too, so I appreciate that. So just addressing the numbers in terms of the gains for today, like I mentioned earlier, we got a lot of volatility. So with that, we got a minus 0.20% loss for Tesla, which is minus $103.57. And then for the total return, we are still at a nice plus 75.11% or plus $21,902.02. So not a bad day for Tesla, like I said. I would much rather have a day like this compared to it dropping like 3% or something, which is something that I have seen recently. So I'm honestly grateful for a red day like this. Like I said previously, you have to try to keep that positive mindset. I think it's really helpful with the stock market, and it also helps you not stress out as well. So I look at this as a positive thing, and we are currently at 46.02% for this position in my portfolio. Next up, we have Microsoft stock. This is one of those that is still going down a little bit after the hype from the potential TikTok deal. As we know, there's been a lot of discussion recently with this upcoming potential deal happening. There's been the conversation between Trump and the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. So unless someone does pick up TikTok, whether it's Microsoft or another American company, according to Trump, the American arm of TikTok will be banned by September 15th. So I would love to see Microsoft pick up TikTok, but as you can see, today's return is minus 0.39% or minus $163.80. And then for the total return, we are at plus 23.96% or plus a nice $8,007.03. So really solid for that so far. And then finally, we have Apple stock, the last bastion of hope for today. This is one of those stocks that has been performing very well recently. I think so far this week, it has been nothing but green. If we look at the past week, yeah, the past few days have been excellent for Apple. We are up 16.55% for the past few days. That includes the first few days of this week and, of course, the last few days of last week as well. We had the earnings report. That's what really skyrocketed this stock a lot recently. And as it says right here for the past week, that includes July 30th and then on up until today. So we've seen a lot of really solid movements out of this stock recently. It's one of those that I think has exceeded expectations for a lot of people in terms of growth. That 4-to-1 stock split announcement was huge. So I'm really curious if Tesla actually does choose to do a stock split in the future, if they decide like a 10-for-1 stock split, or maybe even something bigger than that, like a 15-for-1, then I think that will be huge for the stock, because I think not only has this stock grown significantly because of the positive revenue reports and things like that, but I also think a lot of the reasons for the growth recently has been because of this stock split announcement. I think people are trying to get into this stock before the share split. So whatever you buy right now, if you own 1 share of Apple right now, you will have 4 shares by the end of the stock split. So I think people are buying this right now, hoping that more investors will start to buy Apple after the stock split happens, once it seems to be cheaper to people. So that goes along with a lot of these Robinhood investors that want to start investing but don't have a lot of money to do so and don't have access to fractional shares. So that's where Apple stock could come into play, where a lot of people know about Apple, a lot of people have Apple phones. So if you have a product that you love, then you're probably going to invest in the brand of that product. So I think there is the potential of an increase after the stock split, but at this point, it seems like this increase could already be factored in. It would actually be pretty impressive to see it increase even more after the split, just because I feel like so many people have already understood this potential and have already bought it. So it seems like the likelihood of that increase after the stock split is a little bit less likely. I still think there could be some small potential growth after the split, but a lot of people are buying the stock right now instead of waiting until the split because they think there could be some opportunities with more people buying after the split, which could cause the stock price to go up even more if people are buying it more. So there's that potential right there. But regardless, I'm really happy with my position in Apple stock so far. I would love to add some more in the future, and I'll definitely let you all know if I do. But just addressing the numbers for today, as you can see, we are at plus 0.10% or plus $18.48. And then for the total return, we are at plus 53.56% or plus $6,432.12. So anyways, I just wanted to run through the numbers for today, talk about a few stocks specifically, and of course, just provide another transparency update. So as always, if you appreciate this content, please make sure to smash that like button, and also feel free to sign up to Robinhood and Webull in the description below if you'd like to begin investing. Those are definitely some solid brokerages, and if you sign up with my referral link, then you'll get some free stocks. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.